Hello.
Okay.
Hello. Welcome back, everybody.
It's Miracle Mom and Michael.
As you will see, Mom cannot see because this is, she's basically blind over there. She cannot see my set. She doesn't know what's right next to me. She thinks there's probably a picture next to me right now.
Possibly? No.
Hmm.
No picture?
I'm not going to tell you what's next to me right now.
Oh,
I'm just going
okay.
to I'm going to talk to this space right here. You have no idea what I'm doing. All right.
No, I don't.
So I am producing a show here. I am producing some content, and I need to keep my voice down a little bit. So, the topic I want to talk about right now, Mom,
Okay.
is the fact that spying is happening constantly, regardless of how people feel about that. Like, there are some people that were denying that spying was happening in the government. I don't know if you remember
Yeah.
that. There was somebody that was like, I think it was it, like the attorney general was being asked if he thought spying was happening, and he was like, "What do you mean? Of course spying." He didn't say, "Of course spying is happening," but that was his.
Yeah. I saw that interview.
He spluttered. He's like, "Don't you understand what the
Yeah.
government does? The government keeps us safe in every possible way." Cybersecurity, right? The government is always spying on the bad guys. There's plenty of bad guys around us all the time. But
Right.
people tend to think of over there and over here. Oh, the bad guys are over there somewhere. No, the bad guys are everywhere. They're in your technology if you aren't careful.
Yeah.
So
We know that.
basically, technological advancement is a foregone conclusion,
Yes.
right? I mean, it's like it is actually what it means to be human is to create, and that's all technology is people creating cool stuff.
Right.
And so that will never stop. As long as there are humans, technology will get better and better. And some people use it for worse and worse stuff. But I think what we're doing, Mom, is actually there's a lot of good uses for technology and spying. Like there's literally good uses for this technology. Spying is not an evil thing. It's not a bad thing. It's if there are bad people that should be spied on, then you better be able to spy on them, right?
Yes. I
And
think so.
that's what do you think every country that has a military what is that military doing? It's watching the rest of the planet.
Of course.
And so
What
people
do you think those 22,000 satellites are doing up there?
right, there's all these things flying overhead and we're all looking horizontally at each other not realizing, oh, anybody can there's cases of people that find themselves on Google Maps, right? Because
Well, yeah.
these cars drive around all these different locations. You can go to a location and click Street View and see, and it's like there's this illusion of privacy right now that that I think what has happened is this technological the advancements of technology has changed how pandemics are viewed. I guess that's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
technology has advanced so much since the last viral outbreak. They happen all the time, and since the last one, the a lot of bad things have happened in the world, right? Like in politics and changing of the guard
Yeah.
and people throwing accusations in different directions. Are you following me?
Yeah, I
It's like
am.
it's like who is the good guy and who's the bad guy. But the thing is, through in history, like because of technology right now, the irrefutable facts of what is happening behind the scenes, all the badness and all the goodness, like the things that are happening, the bad people are being exposed, and the good people, a lot of them are suffering.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of bad people making bad decisions, and it's affecting a lot of good people. uh, I hate to be so non-specific in my language
Well, that's it doesn't sound non-specific to me.
because you're tracking
But
with
I
what I'm
think
saying.
about, huh?
Because you're tracking with what I'm saying.
Yeah, right. When it comes to spying, I sit here. I've got my TV, I got my computer, got my phone, and okay, maybe it's my age. that's that's part of what I think about all of it. But
Mm-hmm.
I say to myself, well, go ahead and spy. You can spy on me. I have nothing to hide. I really have nothing you probably want.
That is, I have the exact same reaction.
I mean, go ahead. You can watch me run around in my apartment in my pajamas all day long
I think we just,
or whatever,
I think we
eating
just,
my chips and dip. Go ahead. I don't care.
I think we just
What
came up with a
bothers
title.
me?
We came up with a title for this episode. What bothers you? Go
What?
ahead. No, I'll tell you after you tell me what you're going to say.
Okay. Well, what bothers me about it is I see it beginning to morph into an area of, if we do this, we can do that, more into a control realm instead of just spying and identifying. Now we're going to get just like in China, the social media score.
Yeah, using the
That kind of
technology,
thing.
right? The technology can go in the wrong direction, which you can see,
Exactly.
and that's the thing, because we are not over there. We are
Yeah.
there's a good and a bad to this. There is. That's why I guess I'm going to start repeating it, but the clips or the videos that I've done that say pick one, America, or pick one, USA or China, right? USA
Right.
or China, pick one. That's literally the delineation that will determine who understands what's going on and who is still believing
Right.
falsehood. Because propaganda, if you have powerful people with money behind people who will say anything that's put in front of them, let me just boil it down that way. Anybody who comes on a camera, some of these people who are reporting the news that are supposedly reporting the news, either they are coming up with this wish list of things that they wish were true and just saying them out loud, or there's somebody handing them a script and saying, what about this, read this, say this. and
Right.
and when you are saying things that come out to be patently false, right?
Yeah.
Technology has gotten to the point where it's going to be irrefutable at some point which is right and which is wrong. China's take on it or the USA's take on all these things. So,
Yeah.
do you know where the front line of the war is? I think I mentioned this in another video. The front line of this quote unquote war between the United States and China that's happening right now. It's literally pick one, because there is a war going on unlike any war we've ever experienced. The front line of that war, where do you think that is right now?
Well, it's technology, isn't it?
Bingo. And do you know what just happened in like the good news that just happened in that war? Basically, it's a war over who creates and owns the microchips. Right?
Wow.
All of these computers and phones that we have these little processors in them.
Right.
They're really small, fast computers, and whoever creates those, if they aren't owned already by the Chinese communists, which they're not, there's companies that are not owned by the Chinese communists, and the United States just said, all right, any of you who are creating our chips that we own and using our technology, the United States that we own, you cannot sell your microchips to China.
Yeah.
And that's the front line of the war, because all of China has a lot of eggs in the cyber espionage basket, right? Cyber espionage, trying to steal our technology and use it against us. And if everybody who creates technology ostracizes doing business with China, it's like, oh, well, we shouldn't ever do business with them because they use it nefariously. Let's just use it in the right way. We will commit to only using it for people who do good. It's USA or China. That's literally the easiest choice. this pandemic happened in a technological time when the lines are so clear. There's no debate about where evil exists, like
See,
where the
that's
greatest evil
also,
present in the world today is doing certain things.
well, when I heard that, it struck me how uninformed I am because I actually thought China the one, was one of the nations making these chips.
Well,
That's what I thought.
they have the thing is it's not a monopoly. Nobody has a monopoly on the technology, and so some countries will be able to allot a portion of their budget to create them, and others will. Private companies will take money investment and sell. It's like you can be a private company, I guess, not affiliated with any nation and sell to nations or whatever. I don't know how it all works, but
Yeah,
it's not like China had the monopoly on chips. But the
right.
thing China didn't have certainly doesn't have the monopoly on is the advancements in technology. Even though you think of China and Japan as technologically advanced, the most advancement still happens in like the United States, like the research happening in our universities and in our science institutes and our laboratories. That's where the most advancements in technology are happening. And so we can shut out China, basically. Can you imagine if, here's an analogy I heard recently. Can you imagine your enemy having to use only flip phones? Right? If that is the most advanced their technology was flip phones. They couldn't even communicate with each other. They would have to stand still for 20 minutes and text.
You
Try,
mean even now they don't
no, it's
flip
as
phones? They don't have.
if you imagine one country has a certain level of technology and another country
Yeah,
has a lesser. I mean, that's the reality on the planet. Some people don't have running
yeah,
water, right? So
right,
it's like
right.
technology. We are living in the most advanced place on the planet, the United States of America, and the most civil and benevolent and good country. That's the.
Who sent out that order to stop selling to China?
I'll give you one guess. I won't even. It's like the man in charge.
Trump did that?
Uh huh.
Yeah, see, I didn't hear where that came from, but then I thought, well, where do you think where do you think that came
Well,
from?
it's
So,
there's something that was just passed in the Senate that
oh,
they've been working
okay.
on for a year. This thing in the Senate, they've been working on it for a year, which is before any of this had even happened. But this thing shows how our governors, our senators, our legislators, those who are paying attention, like those who care about
Yeah,
some nefarious people trying to take over our country, they
right.
passed this bill that said Chinese owned businesses can't be in the US stock exchange or something like that, right?
Right. Yeah.
Any business that is owned by the government of China, like not private citizens necessarily. There's these extra hoops you have to jump through to be accepted onto the New York Stock Exchange or something like that. And this just passed in the
Yeah.
Senate, and they've been working on it for over a year. And it's like, oh, well,
Okay.
that's like obvious. Now everybody knows the lines have been drawn, and the different countries and the different companies will pick sides. So the reason, and we'll wrap this because I can babble on about this for a long time,
Yeah.
but
My,
we are using technology that I believe, you know, we are putting this on a platform, right? There are other platforms we could put this on. What if all of a sudden all of our videos disappeared from YouTube, right?
right.
Because that is their power. That technology company has the
Oh,
power.
hacking and yeah.
No, they could just literally they've been dumping they've been cleansing their territory. They've been literally banning and just getting rid of a lot of small accounts for whatever reason. If they're looking and they hear something they don't like,
Yeah.
it could just disappear before it ever got an audience or anything. And so, but we are dependent upon. But the brilliance is we can do it at least at this point. And what there are people that wonder, well, it's going to catch you by surprise if all of a sudden all of your videos disappeared and you thought, huh, I thought this was a free country. And you were like, they're like, no, we're a business. We can do what we want. Have you ever,
You know, you put up a video that I went to watch, and it came up as um, I wasn't allowed to look at it.
which one?
You know, I can't even remember which one. Of course, did I write it down? No, I didn't write it down. Maybe I clicked on something else by
Yeah.
mistake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I would notice if there was something abnormal. Like
Well, that's
I see how many views each video gets, and
yeah,
you when you
uh,
post them on Facebook, I know. Like, oh yeah, she's pretty
yeah.
much
Well, when
posting
I
every one
thought
of them.
about it, when I thought about it later, I thought I must have clicked on something else, because when I'm in there clicking, it's easy to click on something else.
Yeah.
So I just kind of ignored it, and I thought Mike wouldn't do that.
Well,
He wouldn't do that way
it doesn't
without telling me.
it doesn't matter to me if, oh, which website was it on?
I want to say it was either Miracle Mama Michael or Teals of Truth, one of the two.
You're correct. There's only those two, so it's one of them. You know what might have happened? Here's something. I actually I'm going to do a whole segment on this. All right, I'm not going to forget. All right, if you
Okay.
want to know what this video was that mom, it's a possibility mom is talking about a video she clicked, or that I did I send it, or it was posted. You get the notifications.
It was something already posted.
All right. So I am going to explain to mom what happened to that video that she was teased would be available to her, right? It was a tease. I was like, oh, let's see what this is. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Okay. So tune back in. I'm going to explain that. All right. Bye, everybody.
Hi.